Okay, I'm going to do a quick video on basic assembly constraints to get you started working in an assembly. So I've created an assembly by basically hitting New and Assembly, and then I went ahead and I saved it and named it ASM2, just a default name. So I've created an assembly, and of course there's nothing in there. Now by default it's going to come up with a dialog to ask for that. So let's show you the workflow in that. So New, Assembly. As soon as I come through that, it's asking me for what do you want to put in there. I could put in a sub-assembly, but we're going to just start with doing piece parts, so detail parts to start with. So I have these plates out here, and we're going to go ahead and drop that in. And I'm going to go and drop in, let me delete this here, this is extra. Okay, so I have this base plate, and by default it forces the first object to be fixed. So if you look over here, you'll see that it's a fixed part, meaning it has no degrees of freedom, so I can't move it around. And the idea of assembly is we don't really want things to move around. We want to lock down all of the constraints that are used to control how parts are assembled or put together. And if you think logically how a set of mechanical parts go together, that will kind of help you. So let's add another component so we can actually have two things to apply the mates to. I'm going to hit Insert Components. I'm going to browse out to this other little plate I created. And at this point, I want to show you a couple different assembly constraints we can add in here, or they're called mates. And notice the mates, we have nothing expanding here. There's no mates in this assembly. So notice the small block, it can move anywhere. If we were designing and trying to line up holes and doing design work, we wouldn't want it to have this much degree of freedom, because features may not align, and if you accidentally bump it, you just lost alignment. So we're going to go ahead and show you a couple of mates. So you can go click on Mate, and the first most basic and useful mate is just called the Coincident Mate. So I'm going to click on that. And here's the collector, and it's asking me what entities do you want to mate. And I actually want the underside of this small plate to mate to the top side of this big plate. And it comes up with this little options menu. I could control a distance, like force a distance that's going to be offset. Or I can just say we want to make it coincident. So there it is, coincident. If I OK that, this block now only has 2 degrees of freedom. I can't slide it off this surface. Every time I try to slide it, it's actually sliding the X or Y direction, but the Z direction is fixed. So again, like I said, I could offset. I could come back in. Notice that now I have a coincident mate here, and you can edit these mates. So if I said, well, I don't like the surface that I'm mating, I can edit the mate, and I could change the face that I selected. So I could delete the face and use this top face, and it's going to flip it around for me. So you can edit mates. Likewise, I could edit this mate and force it to be an offset mate. You may want to offset that 5 inches and always be 5 inches offset. So I would have to edit this mate, change it to a 5-inch offset, and I went and clicked on the original mate I had, because I can't conflict. I can't have a coincident mate and an offset mate at the same time using the same surfaces. So those are the two main mates. I can control alignment using the alignment here, and we'll talk about a couple more important mates. But this is coincident and offset mate. Two handy mates that are used a lot. Okay, thanks for watching.